Yeah, Grenada. How are you doing? Welcome to another Mikey Live. It is my pleasure to be with you for another day, people. This is where it all happens. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the Mikey. It is Friday, and we say thank God it is Friday. We try to not keep you on Fridays, but it so happens on Fridays we turn out to have the most interesting stories. You see, we can't help it, but on Fridays we have the most interesting stories. So all you brace all yourself. This is where you come for the good, the bad, and the Mikey. All you see what we're discussing today, right? Yeah, boy. So we're talking about robbery at TAMCC, and that's going to be part of the In the Paper segment. Then we have heavy showers. It caused flooding today. Belmont resident remanded for Melville Street trapping, and GTUC, that's the Grenada Trade Union Council, well, they say that they are in solidarity with the Public Workers Union and health sector workers. We're going to tell you more about that. And woman begs for help to save property. And West Indies in trouble. We're going to tell you about that and more. We want to invite you to share the program tonight. Of course, when you share the program, that's how other people get to know that we are live. So go ahead and share the business. Yes, share the business so that other people can see. I see that there are some new viewers on the program. For those of you who are with us for the first time, we've been waiting for you. What took you so long? Anyway, welcome. This is the best show news program you'll find out. No, we are the only media house in the Caribbean, literally. So folks, we're going to tell you more about all that we told you in the headlines. Remember, the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Duty Free Caribbean and Colombian Emeralds International. Now folks, I again would like to encourage you to like the page, all right? And please share the program. We're coming back. When we come back is more news and real news in Olili Lolo.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Why not stay in? Turn off your alarm clock and stay in on your perfect mattress for as long as you like. Only at Quartz. Get 2 free pillows with the purchase of a bed frame or mattress. Get what you want now. With Ready Finance, there's no down payment and you pay nothing for 30 days. So turn off that alarm clock and stay in as long as you like. Only at Quartz. Bringing value home.
Does your laundry detergent have enzymes to fight stains, remove bacteria and odors while being gentle on your hands? Does your laundry detergent have a natural lemon scent, easy rinse technology, and fabric softener to protect your clothes? If you answered yes, then you must be using Glace. If not, what are you waiting for? Glace laundry detergent is made with a 4-in-1 advanced formula and is phosphate-free, making it safe for the environment and safe for washing machines. Glace, a clean home is a Glace home.
All right, people, so welcome again to another Mikey Live program. So we want to make sure everything is sorted out, all right? So let me make sure we turn up and we turn down, whatever we have to turn up and we turn down. Okay, so, all right, so let's go. Okay, all right, take your time with me, man. All right, good, I think we're ready now. All right, big up to all the people who are already here with us, and those who late, detention for all you. Good. All right, so folks, let's talk about the first thing. The Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force hereby notifies the general public, and in particular motorists, that Gore Street in the town of St. George's will be temporarily closed on Sunday, 7th October 2018 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. and that is to facilitate the delivery of concrete. Now, the Royal Grenada Police Force apologizes for any inconvenience caused. Watch now. That Gore Street is one hell of a street on Sundays, and that's when all them tourists and them just decide to go the wrong way. Every Sunday I get to see it, right? The tourists and them, and I think we need to do a better job at that, right? Signage and so on. Sorry, having the appropriate signs and so on. Listen, how do you expect them tourists and them to know this is not a one way or this is whatever? Sometimes there are no directions, and here's what. On Sundays, it's mass in town, you know. You just have to pull out your camera. It's mass. Oh, can I see me? You know, low. Yeah. Fortunately, there's not usually much traffic, so there's no accidents and so on, you know, based on people going the wrong way and all kind of thing, but it's mass like Juve. The Grenada Trades Union Council, the GTUC, unreservedly condemns the comments made by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell regarding the committed and workers in the health care sector. All right, I'm reading this verbatim. Okay, such utterances from the Prime Minister could only result in the further demoralization of the workers. Now, rather than addressing the burning issues of inadequate supplies of medicine, equipment, and facilities in the public health care system, the Prime Minister sought to instead disrespect and smear the character of the committed and hard-working doctors, nurses, orderlies, securities, and all health sector workers. Now, according to this press release, the Prime Minister went further to tell the whole wide world that our professionals in the health services are incompetent. Now, the GTUC sincerely hopes that our people do not suffer the possible negative impact that such an irresponsible utterance can have on the country. This is the context where most of our medical practitioners have been trained by some of the better medical universities and schools in the world. This is in the context where several, okay, it seems to be a repeat. What is even more alarming and disgusting and disturbing is that these utterances were made in the presence of Grenada's Minister for Health, Honorable Nicholas Steele, who sat there without even defending himself and the workers who fall under his charge. After all, if indeed there are such concerns in the healthcare sector, then one of the questions that must be answered is, where would the buck stop? An obvious answer would most likely be the Minister for Health. And this goes on and on and on and on, all right? So you can check it out on our website, mikeylive.com. There were some inconsistencies in the text. I believe it can be as a result of the translation from the formats, all right? Now, folks, we want to welcome you to the Friday segment of our program, which is In the Papers. All right. Now, this segment is a segment that is taken out of newspaper articles and so on. You know that some of the newspaper outlets, they publish their papers primarily on Fridays, and so we choose to do our In the Papers segment on Fridays. All right, so that is what we are doing right now. Welcome again to the In the Papers segment. Now, the first story that we got to tell you about is one that you are already aware of. This is one of the headlining stories that will be appearing in this week's, that is actually appearing in this week's newspaper. This one comes from the Grenada Informer. One member of staff at the T.A. Marisho Community College, TAMCC, has been arrested and charged as members of the Royal Grenada Police Force continue to probe into the recent disappearance of scores of laptop computers at the institution. Now, according to information reaching the Grenada Informer, 30-year-old Joshua Wilson of Monkcraven in St. Patrick, an IT specialist at TAMCC, was arrested and subsequently charged with stealing by reason of employment after some 27 from a donation of 30 Lenovo laptop computers valued at $65,000 destined for use at the institution disappeared before getting to be used for the purpose which it was intended. Now, while the dissemination of information from the school remained guarded, sources hinted to our news desk that the machines, which were part of a project undertaken by a well-established institution on the island, was subsequently handed over to the IT department of the institution as a donation to be used by the students. It is also not clear when the computers went missing. However, a source said management is of the belief that the movement of the machines could have started months ago. Sources told the Informer that the young lecturer, who was granted $80,000 bail with 2 sureties, was having difficulties securing a bailer up until Tuesday evening and was therefore remanded to the Richmond Hill prison to await his next court date. Meanwhile, as the lawmen and management of TAMCC delve into full investigative gear, sources said a decision was taken to suspend the entire IT department for a period of 2 weeks to allow a full assessment of the department by a team from the Ministry of Education. That department, comprising 8 technicians, 2 lab technicians, 1 administrative clerk, and a director, is expected to return to work on Tuesday, October 11th. However, we were told that would also depend on some extent on the outcome, of the investigation. Now, information also learned that allegations of matters similar to the one now under investigation are nothing new to TAMCC or the IT department. However, we were told many are kept on the low in the name of protecting the image of the institution. All right, so that is one of the stories that appeared in the newspaper. And we are talking about the Grenada Informer. And one of the other stories that we have to tell you about, boy, chopping and thing. Telling me. Let's take in this one here, again from the Informer. In a second wave of violent behavior over the weekend, another Belmont resident was remanded to the Richmond Hill prison, having been denied bail for a chopping incident in the Melville Street area on Saturday. Sources told the Informer after a heated argument, the accused man and the partisan and the victim in this incident were locked in a physical combat. One of the 2 men, we were told, was armed with a weapon. The police subsequently intervened, but not before both men suffered multiple injuries, with one taken to the General Hospital to seek medical attention. Patterson was represented in court on Tuesday by defense lawyer Shireen Francis Hackett on a charge of dangerous harm. At the court on Tuesday, defense lawyers attempted to secure bail, or their attempts to secure bail fell by the way when the prosecution hinted to the court that the matter was still under investigation and the victim was still hospitalized. Now, Patterson is due to make a second court appearance on October 29, 2018. Now, in another incident, Montgay resident Denroy Frederick was placed on $10,000 bail with 2 sureties on a charge of indecent assault. Now, the incident is alleged to have taken place in the village of River Road in St. George. The alleged victim in this case is believed to be a 7-year-old. Now, the niece to a friend of the accused man. Jano, that's all I could say. Jano, we're going back there again. We're going back there again, Jano. Anyway, let me leave that story on them. Let's deal with today. Boy, this morning started off raining a little. Water, people. Let's see Woodland Junction, like the intersection, Springs there, the roundabout there. Look trouble, you know. People, water for so. That's how the day started, you know. It was just rain for a few hours. Maybe about 2 hours. You understand? And play smash up. Maybe not even a whole 2 hours. And play smash up. You understand? Look at that, you know. Several places were flooded. This is the Lansopines Junction. Some of you may have seen that video earlier today. You understand? Watch out in Malintine. No. The people on Facebook don't play. But anyway, you understand? Some persons were left somewhat stranded. The people who walk from this area to the Lansopines area had to wait it out as they could not pass. Look, people walking all kind of on side rails and all kind of thing, you know. It was tough for them this morning, but I hope none of their bosses and things don't get vexed and then kind of business. But what? These days, 2 minutes of rain and place smash up, you know. You understand? 2 minutes of rain and place smash up. Now, according to reports, quite a bit of rain fell in the morning session, about 55.2 millimeters of rain. You understand? No, even Montrouge. Look at that, you know. Grandans, they smash up too. But some people have been brave enough to drive their vehicles through it all. They don't mind that. They try nothing. You understand? They try a thing. Water for so, people. Water for so. Now, on top of all that, there was a lady who was asking for some form of assistance, some form of help. She's saying that her property is under threat. I'm going on my video, if my video get black. You understand? So I had a nice little video to show. Okay, here it comes. You understand? She's saying that her property is under threat. Violet. She's saying it's a recent Violet Bell of Lower Woburn. She speaks of flooding behind her house and says that it only started after recent works being done in the area. You understand? All she wants, she says, is for them to fix it. She says that she needs the channel behind her house to be fixed in order to remedy the problem. She said that she make reports and stuff and speak to who and who about the matter, but up to now, no one has addressed it.
What you're seeing across there, that piece of land is basically backfill, and it should be reaching all the way back almost to Class Court Road, the road to reach Class Court Bay. Basically, Nicholas Seal sends some workers to open up the drain, but didn't ask me and didn't have no permission from me to come on my land to do this. And instead of take back the backfill, they've actually pulled the whole mangrove, the whole outlet back on me. We've been here since the 70s. I've never touched the riverbed. So basically now how he's pulled back the mangrove and put this, because just now water was right up to here. all the water, now my house is vulnerable to flooding. In all the years, all the flooding that you see happened 2 months ago, no water came by me. I didn't have to worry that. The mangrove, if you look, when you go up on here, actually reaches out there. But now he's pulled it all back onto me. And all the garbage, everything you can see up here. I've even lost earnings because he pulled down my coconut trees as well. I've gone all the way to the commissioner, and it's like Nicholas feels he's higher than the law. Because if the commissioner is telling you to fix back the place and deal with it, you're supposed to come and deal with this. And this is over a month ago. I know the commissioner has spoken to him. And nothing hasn't been done. The man hasn't even come back and apologized. This is what I have to put up with.
Okay, so what is it you want to happen now? Because you went to the commissioner and he was told to come and fix this.
Well, basically, the main thing I need done is this channel fix coming to my house. Because every time we get heavy rain now, when the ending of the hurricane season, where we get the most rain for Grenada, is the ending of hurricane season. The land needs to be fixed back. That is the most important thing. And if Nicholas still avoiding the police, he should be arrested. Because basically he's broken the law. I have done a report to the police for trespassing, loss of earnings and destruction of property. So if that's what should happen if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Nobody's be higher than the law.
Okay, and where did you make the report?
I made a report in South St. George on the 4th of August.
All right, so you heard the lady say she wants the place fixed back to what it was. She says a project that they've been doing there, and we had to withhold the names because when there are certain claims being made and we cannot independently verify the claims, then we cannot publish the names and so on, because what I'm saying is we don't pack with prison bag yet. You know what I mean? It was kind of busy for the week. If the jail bag pack, then we can play names and we can play both. Alright, but for now, let me keep it at that. Alright, we're moving on. How we looking for time? Alright, so the next thing we have to tell all about, World Teachers Day celebrated today. Give all the teachers of the world, and in particular, all the teachers of Grenada, a round of applause for the work that they has done. Let's give them a round of applause. Secondly, I want you in the comment section to write the name of a teacher who has impacted your life significantly. And later on, somebody go tell them that you put their name for have impacted your life so tremendously. For want of a better word. Write the name of a teacher. I would say Daniel Thomas, former principal of the Happy Hill Secondary School. I would say Miss Anne. She was the first principal, and when I met there, I would say Mr. Hensley Noel. Happy Hill Secondary School again. And so many more. My sister, Teacher Rita. I don't call him Teacher Ray, name. He used to be too bad. Mr. Worrell used to be too bad for mathematics. Mr. Joseph used to, well, he was a nice geography teacher. So, write the name of the teacher who impacted you the most. You could put 2 names if you want. But today we have to recognize how teachers have shaped our lives. We ignore them too often. And don't play a little dropping off the life, Write the business. Miss Clarkson, Teacher Afia, Miss Clarkson, alright, Mr. Belfon, you understand? Dubois, Margot Dubois, Gabriel Mason, Teacher Angeli, Melvin Lord, Brother George, you understand? Teacher Marshall, call them names. You understand? Call the names. As we feature the next story, Ursula Antoine, Eslyn Charles. Look at them names coming up. Mrs. Thomas, Miss Jocelyn Lee. Call them names. Call them names. For the teachers and them. You understand? Because they work too hard. So, folks, today is World Teachers Day, and they're celebrating in a big way. You understand? Teachers, the heartbeat of public education, was the theme. and they were at the McDonald's College today celebrating. Now they are saying that the students gave little tokens of appreciation to the teachers. Now we had the President General of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Mr. Lyden Lewis. He said that the teachers have achieved a great deal. He even also spoke about things that, you know, are not going too well in terms of negotiations. In terms of negotiations for the teachers. But anyway, let's listen to Lyden.
So Louis, speak to us on today's proceeding.
Today we mark the celebration of World Teachers Day under the theme, Teachers, the Heartbeat of Public Education. We have decided to ask schools to celebrate as a staff, and also as a national executive we have invited teachers to come where we can discuss the theme, Teachers, the Heartbeat of Public Education, look at all the positives, the negatives, and how we could chart a path going forward. And we've decided to do that in the form of a panel discussion. So this afternoon, the first and most important part of the celebration would be that panel discussion, where we hear from teachers what are the views, how do they think that we need to go ahead as teachers, as the main ones within the public system.
Okay, if you want to speak on the achievements of the Grenada Union of Teachers on a broad base, what would you say?
I think we have done exceptionally well for an organization that has celebrated 105 years this year. Our track record speaks for itself. We have been able to make considerable strides. We've been able to invest. We have the arms of the union, like the medical plan, unheard of throughout the region. We have our credit union that's thriving, one of the largest in Grenada. We have the bookstore, we have social security, and we have the main union. We have investment. We've been able to diversify into investment portfolio. We have been giving extensive training. We've been giving back to our teachers through incentives and also awards for when the children pass common entrance. We've done a lot, and our number of collective agreements that we've signed with government speaks through to the fact that we've done a magnificent job for the 105 years in getting benefits for our teachers.
Okay, we know pension restoration is always a topical issue.
Well, this one is one that we'll have to make some decisions about as urgently as possible. We had a meeting on Wednesday with government, and this did not go well. We are planning to have a meeting amongst the unions and association on Monday, and on Tuesday we'll brief the media as to the specifics as to what has happened. But I can tell you the meeting did not go as expected. We believe that government is finding creative ways to back down from the commitment that they have given. We would not take this lightly. In fact, today, what I have had planned to speak to teachers about, that would take a different route, and I would ask them for a commitment as executive, as the president, to do whatever is necessary. And in that area, we are not afraid to say that this speaks directly to industrial action towards the restoration of this pension. It is not a matter that we will take lightly. We would not allow government to backtrack and attempt to deceive or hoodwink the unions, and this to us holds, it's the heartbeat of our workers to retire with something that makes them much more, because at present they retire in what speaks to less than human conditions. I mean, what they get now from NIS alone cannot substance keep them as a normal person within the Grenada economy. So to give up on pension, to allow government to withdraw and retract on what we have agreed to, we cannot, we will not. We cannot in good conscience allow government to do that.
All right, thank you very much.
So you understand. So they talk about all the exciting stuff about the teachers, and then got onto the serious business of pension restoration, and they're saying that industrial action could happen if they do not get their way. All right. So how are we looking for time? We're going again. All right, folks. There's one thing that I have to tell you about. Who knows what's coming? Get ready, Grenada, Carriacou, Pidimonic, and the world to experience Miami Carnival as never before. Yes, Grenada, Carriacou, Pidimonic, and the world Why? You can watch Miami Carnival on WPG10 this weekend, 12 noon to 2 p.m. That's tomorrow, Saturday, and then 12 noon to 11 p.m. on Sunday. Saturday is Juve, Sunday is Parade. WPG10 for those who have on channels 10 and 11 for those of you who are on cables. All right, so that's WPG10, channels 10 and 11. Remember that channel 11 is in HD. So get ready to experience Miami Carnival wherever you are. Good. So I'm going to be heading up to Miami, and then on Monday and Tuesday we're going to be somewhere else. All right, we're roaming the place. All right, that's what we're gonna be roaming the place. So expect a little difference with Mikey Live on Monday and Tuesday of next week. All right, don't say I didn't tell all you. Good. We're not gonna be in studio, and we're hoping the internet where we're heading will be as good. Now, here is the next thing that we have to tell you about, boy. That one I thought was a very interesting one. It came from the Grenada Informer. Let me see if I see it, boy. Yes, look at it here. That was a nice story, and you know we like to tell those kind of stories of a good Samaritan who said that he saved a house from burning. A man who resides by himself in Bel Air. They say he's thanking his good Samaritan neighbor for his observation and quick action that has allowed that man to be able to sleep in his house for another night. Amidst the inclement weather, about 10:50 a.m. on Friday, one of the fire trucks was honking its horn and screaming its siren as officers responded to a report that the small wooden house belonging to another, and that was Anthony Hamlet, was on fire. Shortly after, the other fire truck, which is based in the Lauriston Airport, arrived on the scene. However, there was no fire, and the other officers did not have to go into action. Why? Upon investigations, it was learned that smoke had begun billowing, from the inside of the house when Mr. Forrest Stafford took a proactive approach to prevent the house from burning. Now, Mr. Hamlet, who owns the house, said that he got up, had his coffee, and decided to put a portion of pork on the stove to cook. Now, shortly after he did, he left the house to go to his workplace on the debushing program to see whether they were working despite the inclement weather. He says, I forgot I had left the pot on fire, and thank God, Mr. Stafford. Thank God for Mr. Stafford for saving my house. They say that he said that in a nervous voice. All right. So they say they observed the smoke and they went into action. You understand? They say that he went in, he dashed, took a stone and broke the lock and entered the house, which was consumed by smoke. Mr. Stafford added that he then threw a bucket of water on the stove. He said that the stove and pot were on fire, and if he had entered the house 5 minutes later, the house would have burnt to the ground. You understand? All you? Yeah, good people. Good people. You understand? So clap, clap. You understand? You're good people. What are talking about? Grenada nice. Pana don't put your pork on leave it. Don't pull it. Pana don't leave your pork on fire. Pork is not a thing to leave on fire. You understand? You could leave other thing on fire, not pork. Anyway, lately that talk there. Well, you learn the hard way, but you don't learn. Not it could have been one. So as you said, you rightfully said, thank God. You understand? Thank God. Because, you understand? Anyway, the next story that we have to tell all you about. No, we're moving on. How we looking? Devon Smith, according to Michael, thank you for that, made $132 runs of 107 balls from for the Windward's Volcanoes against Canada in the Windies Super 50 Cup at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. You understand? Devon Smith, they say, is in great form. You understand? So all ya, give the man a clap. The man walking. The man walking. Hey. Now Kavim Hodge added 84, not out. Cook Edwards 61 and Tyrone 31. Volcanoes reached 337 for 9 of their allotted 50 overs. Now that was for Devon Smith. I don't think that the West Indies was that lucky. As the West Indies team continues to struggle, in trouble. But we have a youngster, young Grenadian, Shaman Lewis. He made his debut. Out the captain of India, Virat Kohli. So we're doing things. We're taking in a report from our sister station WPG10.
If day one was tough for the West Indians in the first test against India at Rajkot, the second day was absolutely disastrous. The figures are daunting as they look. West Indies 555 runs behind, with only 4 wickets standing in their first innings. When India resumed on 363 for 4, the mission was to push West Indies to the ground. On day 2, India's skipper Virat Kohli notched up another inevitable-looking 100. Ravindra Jadeja, he entertained his home crowd with his maiden 100, and then on cue, the West Indies batting collapsed. At the start of the day, wicketkeeper batsman Rishbhar Pant was the main aggressor, punishing anything loose and sometimes even forcing the pace. But he finally died by his own sword, short of his century. Kohli got his almost inevitable century before giving Grenada's Sherman Lewis his second test wicket.
Fantastic knock of 139 comes to an end. Leading edge.
But the second half of the script belonged to Jadeja, who also filled with aggression, notched his first test century.
First 100 for Ravindra Jadeja.
It was a hard day once again for all the bowlers. The leading wicket taker was Devendra Bishu, who's 4 for 217 as the second most expensive figures for West Indies in an innings. After India declared on 649 for 9, West Indies closed on 94 for 6. Skipper Craig Braffett was the first to go. Mohamed Sami soon got his second wicket.
Yes, he's given him.
But no rescue act was in sight, with spin soon introduced and Shea Hope falling almost immediately. And as to add insult to injury, Shimron Hetmaya and Sunil Ambrose featured in a comical mix-up.
Jadeja is just running towards the stumps. Somebody has to sacrifice the wicket.
Roston Chase and Kemo Paul saw the team to the close, but ahead of the third day, West Indies might be having nightmares with the possibility of them following on. For WPG 10 Sport, I'm Enos McDonald.
Thank you very much, Enos, and of course, here's that report from our sister station, WPG 10. All right, how are we looking? All right, let me see what else I have to tell you. So quite a lot happened in the news this week. I want to invite you guys to check out our website for all the latest news. Some of the stories that you'll find here on the live program can be found as well, posted in text format on our website as well. You can visit the Mikey Live section of the website so that you can view any of our past programs. In fact, any of our past videos, all of our past videos are posted there. All right, so log on to our website, that's mikeylive.com, where you can find the latest news. I think one of the big stories coming out of this week is the death of Mr. Garfield. Caught up, he died yesterday. Now, he was one of 2 shooting victims in an incident which occurred last Sunday, and the accused person in this incident is currently remanded at Her Majesty's prisons. Now, he was remanded following his first court appearance. We're talking about Rahim Kelshal, a 24-year-old. He appeared at the St. George's Magistrates Court yesterday, all right, and he was charged with 2 counts of attempted capital murder and 1 count of robbery with violence and possession of a firearm and ammunition. One of these charges are expected to be revised. The shooting was one of its kind. We do not usually have these kind of shootings happening here in Grenada. Now, what sources are saying is that the accused have been involved in incidents of a similar nature, not only here in Grenada, but in Trinidad and Tobago. Kelshell is alleged to have accosted and robbed the businessman of an undisclosed amount of money at his Kiwani James Boulevard business place. That's another individual, right? While wearing a mask. That was the first shooting incident. And then, mere minutes later, making his escape, he allegedly shot Kotup. All right. Kotup, who was hospitalized since in the intensive care unit of the General Hospital, died yesterday morning. All right, folks, we have an event to tell you about. The event at the Yachts Club is coming up on the night before the holiday, so that's the 24th. All right, Chocolate Physique by True Masqueraders as they celebrate their anniversary. People, it's going to be an all-inclusive event, and you can look forward to that. All right, we can tell you that it's going to be one of a kind. You can expect to see ladies covered in chocolate and men covered in chocolate as well. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we've got the national report.
Listen to what you had to say and turn up the old rules, because losing what you paid for is just wrong. Now, lost data and talk are a thing of the past. Only Digicel gives you unlimited rollover data and talk. Just buy and renew your Quick Pick bundle before it expires and keep what's rightfully yours. Never lose what you don't use. Go to My Digicel app to bundle up and roll over today. Digicel.
Dwayne and Louisa Heritage Theatre presents Breaking Out, a new full-length drama written and directed by Christy Riggs.
Louisa, will you marry me?
Boy, you crazy?
I love you, Louisa. I'm serious.
You reach love real quick.
Breaking Out, opening Saturday, 29th September at Marisho Theatre and continuing.
But I still love you, Richie.
You love me and you're hard in me? Breaking Out, a story of love, challenged, tested, and driven to its very limits.
He's the love of my life, Auntie. You have to marry a man for other things besides love, child.
Breaking Out, a story of high drama and suspense.
I'm gonna count to 3, and when I'm finished, you should already be walking towards the door. 1, 2.
Wait, so you're gonna just shoot him down like a dog?
Breaking Out, starring Robert White and Lisa Grappy James. Breaking Out, an opportunity for taking out the entire family.
This ad complements Quartz Grenada Limited.
Alrighty then, and it is now time for the national report.
Persons insisting on entering a polling booth with cellular phone or cameras on election day can now be charged or imprisoned. Details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Friday, October 5th, 2018, I am Rikisha St. Louis. A person who insists on going into a polling booth with his or her cellular phone or camera on election day can now find himself having to pay a fine of $500 or spend 6 months in prison. The lower house of Parliament passed the Representation of the People Amendment Bill on Friday, which states that no person shall have in his or her possession any electronic device upon entering a polling booth to cast their ballot on polling day. If the person inadvertently walks into the polling booth with any of these devices, he will be required to hand it over to the returning officer, who will then return it after he has cast his ballot. Leader of Government Business Honorable Gregory Bowen says the measure is to ensure transparency in the voting process.
Most countries and most political parties are banning the use of cell phones, any electronic system. People think it's only cell phones that could take pictures here. Yeah, we have not reached that stage there. Some pin here, some pin there. The mirror. Maybe you're not, or the glasses, maybe you're not sophisticated as that as yet. See, my brother still is smiling. So you go in, the law doesn't say glasses. I don't believe that we could cover all area in a modern technological world. But the phones, so we're saying phones and we mention cameras, but there are many other things. But this is what will mainly happen. This is what people mainly use. So we now say, do not go into the polling division with a phone.
Minister Bowen says failure to follow this rule could land an offender on the other side of the law.
I'm sure that when the police tell you go out or leave it outside, if you inadvertently walked in with it, then I don't think that he will charge you so much once you hasten to going back. But if you want to say, no, I'm going with it, then perhaps you will end up in serious trouble. There are fines for it, Mr. Speaker.
The Representation of the People Amendment Bill also makes provision for electoral candidates or nominees to do away with the practice of walking with cash on nomination day and simply walking with an official receipt following payment at the government treasury. The amendment states that every candidate or someone on his or her behalf shall, at the time of his or her nomination, provide to the returning officer an official receipt from the Treasury or Revenue Office evidencing payment by the candidate of the nomination deposit of $500 cash. Failing to do so means the nomination of the candidate will be deemed void. Leader of Government Business in the lower house, Honorable Gregory Bowen, says the decision was made after consultations with the Supervisor of Election and other political parties on the representation of the People's Amendment Act 2018.
This is now saying that you can go into the Treasury and pay it into the Treasury and not burden the man by collecting the money and going there. What you want, therefore, is to show on nomination day that you have a receipt. I think we only pay on nomination day. This will allow you to pay maybe a day before or a week before, and you walk with your receipt, and the returning officer, at that time the registration officer will inspect, and well, obviously you come with a receipt. I don't think anybody will try to forge a receipt, but it is within his purview to really see that the receipt is authentic, and then on nomination day you bring that receipt.
According to Minister Bowen, the nomination fee has increased to $500, an increase of $200, a decision again made through consultations with political parties. Mentally challenged individuals still have an identity and a voice. That statement by Minister for Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, Honorable Delma Thomas. During a meeting of the lower house on Friday, a visibly emotional Minister Thomas addressed the recent circulation of videos of mentally challenged persons on social media. She says it is unfair and inhumane to be making a public spectacle of those who are clearly not in control of their actions.
The video has been transmitted to thousands of people. On the video, what appears to be the voice of two men taking pleasure in conducting the filming as well as making inappropriate, demeaning remarks. Thankfully, Mr. Speaker, the woman has been identified by the police and she has since been brought in for medical and treatment she deserves.
The month of October is designated Mental Health Awareness Month. However, society continues to fail these individuals. Minister Thomas charged the members of the public to be more responsible, more sensitive, and to be their neighbor's keeper.
We as a society must be more sensitive to people with mental illness. What was seen on the tape was not a girl, a woman or a sister deserving of ridicule, but of a fellow human being deserving of our help and intervention. At a time when she was most vulnerable, we as a society failed her. The young men who took the effort and the energy to film her so that she could be the object of ridicule should have used the same energy to reach out to help her. For the scores of people who have distributed the video and who have taken pleasure in extending the scope of the ridicule should think deep within themselves.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity. Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatalities. Be safe, be seen, be smart. So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Welcome back. Anglican High School students had an opportunity to engage with the Minister for Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, Honorable Emmeline Pay, at the school this week, where the minister addressed several topics related to this year's Child Month theme, keeping all our children safe. Details from Annette Moore.
The minister spoke on child abuse and water, fire and internet safety, inclusive of children's rights and responsibilities.
One of the things that Grenada would have signed on to when it signed on to the Convention on the Rights of the Child is that of protection of our children.
Students enjoyed the interaction, answering questions and participating in the minister's presentation with youthful enthusiasm.
I think that one sounds familiar to you. So we know we cannot swim, but our friends can swim. And so we want to impress our friends and we decide we're going to try to do what we are not able to do.
Apart from dangers resulting from the unsafe use of beaches and other areas for swimming and water sports, the minister cautioned students to pay attention to their home environment and to assist in making smart choices that will keep everyone safe, noting the tragic loss of lives in recent fires for the year 2018.
But then I would ask myself a question, who is really supposed to be protecting our children? Interesting answers, and I'm going to repeat them this morning. Right? I heard parents, I heard God, I heard a very interesting one. We are supposed to be protecting ourselves.
Speaking on internet safety, the minister advised students to be vigilant in spotting cyber criminals, of the importance of using social media responsibly, and the impact of one's social media presence on future job and other opportunities.
You don't want to live two lives. You want to live one life that is an open book, that anytime somebody reads that book, they can smile.
And of course, new developments in the struggle against sexual abuse were mentioned.
I say to you, be bold, be brave, and speak out. Say that for me. Be bold, be brave, and speak out. In case you are thinking that there is nobody that you can speak to, because you don't trust that they are going to be doing something or saying something and you probably don't have the confidence in them, there is a new hotline. The number, and let me say it so everybody knows it after today. The number is 400.
Child Month activities continue with media appearances, Child Month marches, and more. Additional information can be obtained from the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, and from the various educational institutions.
On behalf of the principal, teachers, and students of the Anglican High School, I would like to say thank you for taking the time off from your schedule to come here and speak with us on child protection.
For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
That story just ended the National Report for today, Friday, October 5th, 2018. Now to recap the top story. Persons insisting on entering a polling booth with cellular phone or cameras on election day can now be charged or imprisoned. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for viewing. Until Monday, have a safe weekend.
All right, thank you very much, Rakisha, and everybody else who were part of the production of the National Report. And folks, we just need to see what the weather will be like. I think we can take some time to tell you what the weather will be like. All right, so let's just do that. I hope that you guys will have a very good weekend there. So here is your weather report for tonight. Now the weather is expected to be mostly cloudy with light to moderate showers. All right, there's a medium chance of thunder and so on tonight. Tonight's minimum temperature is expected to be about 23.5 degrees Celsius. That's pretty chilly. Winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour, gusting higher with showers. Seas moderate, waves up to 6 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory is in effect. All right, and let me just say this, that this was the report for tomorrow, Saturday. Again, let me repeat, this was the report for tomorrow, Saturday. Now the weather is expected to be for tonight partly cloudy with light rain accompanying cloudy spells mainly to the southern part of the island. Tonight's minimum temperature is expected to be about 24 degrees Celsius. Winds east northeasterly to east southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves up to 7 feet in open waters. All right, and tides are currently rising. All right, and that's your weather report. The marine advisory is for tomorrow, Saturday. All right, guys, so take care of yourselves and your family. And remember that you have one life to live. I trust that you're going to do so to the fullest. Don't let no one draw you out. Yeah, get you angry and get you to do things that you'll regret later on. Let's say hello to Kevin, Wayne, Shireen, Kireen, Veronica, Karen, Neki, Ezran, Thomas, Esther, Kay, Spice Girl. We have as well with us Naomi, and did I say Shireen? Spice Girl. Okay. Alright, guys, so Raven as well is with us. Alright, so Veronica, big up your whole. Veronica, where's your badge? Everybody else, and Esther, Philip, where's your badge? Some of you, I see you on the program all the time. Kevin, where's your badge? Where are you guys' badges? You had to show up on the program with your badge. Alright, Wayne, where's your badge? Roland, big up your whole self, alright? Kathy, and everybody else. John, big up your whole self, alright, bro? Alright, and Malaika, big you up too. Alright, so big up to all the newcomers, and folks, some of you have not yet shared the program. I just want to encourage you to please go ahead and do so. That's as far as you can go. God bless you. Have a great weekend. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we all say, Ja! No! Good night, everyone.